Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be determining who is the combat sports GOAT. So, combat sports GOAT is not saying who's the MMA GOAT or who's this, who's that. The combat sports GOAT is someone who has, reached the pinnacle of multiple different combat sports. Like whether you reach the pinnacle of wrestling, you were an Olympic gold medalist wrestler, and you were a boxing world champion, or maybe Olympic gold medalist boxer, like something like that. But it's like at least two sports, not just one sport. Like you could be the GOAT of MMA, you could be the 10 times over GOAT of MMA, but that would not make you the combat sports GOAT. What would make you be the combat sports GOAT is when you are able to reach the pinnacle, like you reach the top, like not just oh I fought the guy, you became the guy, whether it was for a night, a year, a decade, but you reached the pinnacle of two different sports in the realm of combat sports. That's what the combat sports GOAT is, like what you gotta do to be the combat sports GOAT. So that's all the details y'all need to know. But yeah, let's get into it. So let's see what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say. What am I trying to say right here? But yeah, is it Holly Holm? Is Holly Holm the combat sports GOAT? Is she? She was a boxing several time boxing world champion. She's in the boxing Hall of Fame, and I think she's a certified MMA Hall of Famer, UFC Hall of Famer. That's a good. That's pretty good. Um, some good accomplishments. She has a good case to be in the talks. Like she's definitely in the talks. I'm not saying she's in the top five or whatever, but she has definitely answered the very she has answered the initial question. You reach the pinnacle of two different sports, boxing and MMA. Also, she did kickboxing. Well, I think she won a couple world titles, but I don't think she fought kickboxing at the highest of highest levels. But she was a successful kickboxer. She's a Hall of Fame boxer, Hall of Fame MMA fighter, world champion MMA fighter, world champion boxer. So she did indeed, I guess, answer. She answered the initial question about what it takes to be a combat sports GOAT or be a combat sports star or whatever. But she's not the GOAT. She's not a combat sports GOAT. Um, this guy right here, Henry Cejudo, he has been believed to be the combat sports GOAT for a good number of years now. Because I said she, but because he was an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. I think at the time he was the youngest male wrestler to win an Olympic gold medal in American history at that time. But that has since changed, I believe. And yeah, so he won a gold medal, and then he became the UFC champ and a double champ. So Triple C, as his name implies, that's his moniker now, the Triple C. He won Olympic gold medal. He became the flyweight champion. Then he doubled up, became a champ. Held two UFC belts simultaneously, the flyweight belt and the bantamweight belt. And that's definitely a big feat. But I don't believe he's a combat sports GOAT. I think that has changed. Um, is it this guy right here? Israel Adesanya. Is he the combat sport GOAT? Is Israel Adesanya the combat sports GOAT? And my answer? No, he's not a combat sport GOAT. And I don't think no one else thinks that, and I don't think that either. But yeah, Israel Adesanya, he definitely, he's a style bender. He has tried a lot of different combat sports. I think he did BJJ just a little bit. I think. Don't quote me on that. I know he did box. I think his record like 5-1. That's definitely not something to flex. No insult to him on that, but definitely not nothing to flex. That's far from reaching the pinnacle of boxing. Nowhere near it. And didn't even fight anyone any bit decent. So that's definitely nothing to flex. Kickboxing, he was a very successful kickboxer, but I don't think he ever truly reached the pinnacle of kickboxing. He might have fought people that reached the pinnacle, but he himself never, I think, in my opinion, never won a truly major belt in kickboxing. Pretty record for some good guys. He definitely has the skills for sure, but never reached the pinnacle of kickboxing, in my opinion. MMA, he definitely reached the pinnacle of MMA, but I don't think he answers the basic question you need to answer. He does not answer the basic question of being able to dominate or at least reach the pinnacle of two different sports. He did not reach the pinnacle of two different sports. He reached the pinnacle of just one sport, and that was MMA. Kickboxing might be his first love, and that might be his style and his background, but MMA is where he reached his most success. That's where he made his most money, made his name for the most part. Like yeah, that's where all that happened at. So Israel Adesanya is not that guy. Is it Johnny Bones Jones, the GOAT of MMA? Is it Johnny Bones Jones? Yes, Jon Jones is the. Yeah, this computer don't like me at all. It'd be cutting off of me like, shut up. You're gonna get 200 views on this video. Matter of fact, you're gonna get 5 views on the video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna block you from even getting any views. This video gonna get um, blocked in all states, but in the countries. But yeah, Jon Jones definitely, a good case for GOAT of MMA, in my opinion, the GOAT of MMA. But he is not the combat sports GOAT. He did not reach the pinnacle of any other sport besides, or any other, yeah, I'm gonna say sport besides MMA. He was a junior college wrestling champion, and that's not the pinnacle of wrestling. He didn't become an NCAA champion. Didn't D1 NCAA champion? That didn't become his. That was That was not in his cards. That was not in his fate. That did not happen. He had other plans and became an MMA fighter at like 20, 19 years old, something like that. So he didn't reach the pinnacle of wrestling. Not in college. He didn't go on to wrestle in the Olympics, become Olympian, become Olympic gold medalist. That did not happen for him. So just one sport. As great as he is in this one sport, MMA, he didn't reach the pinnacle of no other sports. Still not too late for other things to happen, but I doubt he's gonna go out there, become a boxing world champion or Olympic gold medalist in any type of sport. Like MMA becomes an Olympic sport, and he sticks around for it. And even that's gonna be hard as he gets older. And by the time they have another Olympics, so yeah, Jon Jones is not the combat sports GOAT. UFC GOAT, MMA GOAT, I'd say so. Combat sports GOAT, no. But drum roll. I'm gonna get right to it. Who do I think is the combat sports GOAT? And the person I think that is the combat sports GOAT is of today, is of present, no longer Henry Cejudo, but the person that is now the combat sports GOAT, like the person now that is the combat sports GOAT, is none other than this person right here. Yes, Kayla Harrison. She is the combat sports GOAT. She is also a champion, just like she's also Olympic champion, just like Henry Cejudo, but a two-time Olympic champion. And the reason why I don't feel Cejudo is the combat sports GOAT any longer is because like weigh her accomplishments versus his accomplishment, and also like she won the Olympic gold medal twice, so that's like roughly like an 8-year span where she was the best woman in the world. Cejudo won the Olympic gold medal, and I think he won like maybe like one other tournament, but when he tried to come back for the Olympics, he lost in the Olympic trial, the U.S. Olympic trial, and did not make it back. So I can't really say he was really the best for a really extended amount of time. And the Olympics is a big thing; it's a big accomplishment. But she also won Olympic gold, and she won it twice. And she also was like considered the best in her weight class for a long period of time. Whereas I feel like Cejudo was kind of like he had a year, he had a moment, and he was still a good wrestler. But I think even up prior to that point when he was going there, he was a wild card almost. Like nobody was expecting him to win that gold medal. Again, so it was not like he was the best going into that Olympics. He did come out the gold medalist. That's all that matters. But what I'm trying to say is I feel like he never really truly dominated the sport. He had a moment. He was good. He was successful and all. Good record and everything like that. But it was not like he went this long period of being this long period of being the best wrestler in that particular weight class. It was like he, again, had some moments here and there, but particularly one big moment, he had that Olympic run. Whereas Kayla Harrison, again, she was dominant in her sport, in her discipline in judo. Like, again, 2-time Olympic gold medal. I think she was like a 2 or 3, 4-time world champion. Don't quote me on that. But again, 2 gold medals, twice as many as he has, plus some world champions on top of that, plus being considered the best in her weight class for a number of years. It was like a reign of terror, for her opponents. So she was reigning over her sport. She wasn't just she didn't just get by. She dominated. So it's a difference. So she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, and also a world champion in MMA, and probably soon to be another world champion again in the UFC and at a different weight class. I think she was winning her belts in not one FC in PFL at like lightweight, I believe, or 155, which is lightweight but still. And now she's fighting at bantamweight in the UFC. So that'd be 2 different weight classes. She has become a world champion at two different sports. I mean, well, not two different sports, two different organizations. And you can, yeah, so two different organizations. I can't say she's already going to do this because obviously she could get injured, someone could beat her, and she don't become a champion in the UFC. But I feel like she has already accomplished winning the belt at a major level in the MMA, and that was PFL. So I would say that's a major belt. PFL is one of the major belts. So she has achieved the pinnacle of MMA by becoming a champion, winning tournament like 2 or 3 times, maybe more than that to be honest, and been a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, along with some world championships as well on top of that. So you really could say she like a, I say she's triple champ as well. She's triple champ as well. I'm not gonna say quadruple champion until she becomes the champion of UFC. If she becomes the champion of UFC, then she's quadruple champion. But 2 Olympic gold medals because she's not a 2 division champion. Like Cejudo was a 2 division champion in MMA plus the Olympic gold medal, so that's 3 triple C. She has 2 gold medals, so that's 2 championships. Then she has a world title, well, multiple world titles as far as in PFL. So I just count one, it's counted as all one thing as far as her PFL run. So that's 3 championships, and I just feel like she was more dominant in both aspects of sport. I feel like Cejudo might have fought better competition, might better this and stuff. You could kind of round it out a little bit, but yeah, if we this all gender, like we just include all genders, who is the combat sports GOAT? In my opinion, it is Kayla Harrison. It's none other than Kayla Harrison. Like again, she dominated for years in judo. Dominant. I think in her last run, she just like just shut everyone out and no one scored a point on her. So like again, this is different levels to how she dominated versus what Cejudo did in wrestling. Like impressive on both sides, but what she did is far more impressive, far more dominant, and over a longer reign. And in PFL, she was a champion. Like and she won like 2 or 3 years straight, just dominated her competition in PFL. So yeah, I just think her overall dominance is transcended across both sports more so than his. He probably fought better competition. Again, I say he fought better competition. But yes, I'll put her over. But also, bonus part right here. I don't think Cejudo is. You just like just make it men. I don't think Cejudo's the man's combat sports GOAT either. I don't think. So let me say that again. I do not think that Cejudo is the man's combat sports GOAT either. I think who is the man's combat sports GOAT is none other than. Let me say that again. Drum roll it up. Who is the man's combat sports GOAT, and who do I think is the man's combat sports GOAT? No longer Cejudo. The man's combat sports GOAT is none other than this man right here. Yes. Alex Pereira. I think Pereira is now the man's combat sports GOAT. And this is really not all just recency, or maybe not all recency. And I feel like it's similar parallels to how I feel about Kayla Harrison in her respect to just being the overall combat sports GOAT. You just include all genders. Kayla Harrison is the combat sports GOAT. But if we just talking about men, I think Pereira is the combat sports GOAT. Because he was a 2 division champion in Glory Kickboxing, which is the pinnacle of kickboxing, I feel, or at least one of the pinnacles of kickboxing. You know, again, one of the pinnacles of boxing. I mean, kickboxing. Maybe you can say K1, maybe you say this, maybe you say that, but one of the pinnacles of kickboxing. So you gotta respect. That's the peak of kickboxing as it is today. And he was a 2 division champion in Glory Kickboxing. Then he came over to MMA, was a 2 division champion, or he still is a 2 division champion, still reigning light heavyweight champion of MMA, well, of UFC. So that's really, you could say that man is quadruple C. Kayla Harrison not quite yet quadruple, and obviously I rate I rate Olympic gold medals over kickboxing or glory titles, but the man still continuing to add to his legacy. And the difference between Cejudo and Pereira, I feel, is the fact again, Cejudo, I don't feel like he really like it was the solidified best in his division for a long extended period of time. Like again, he was like the best, in a short period, but it was an over extended period. But again, Olympic gold medal, that's a hard thing to do. is definitely crazy. Still a big accomplishment, but Cejudo was never just that guy. He wasn't like no Jordan Barrows who was just like dominated his division for a span of probably like 5-6 years, just like just dominating every single thing, just winning world titles, winning the Olympics, and then after the Olympics, winning some more world titles, or like a Dake, or any of these other great wrestlers who really solidified themselves as the best in their respective division. Like I don't feel like Cejudo ever really fully solidified it. Like he won the peak, but he wasn't really able to hold on to that, and then that even solidified even more when he wasn't even able to qualify for the Olympics because he lost in the U.S. Olympic trials and then retired afterwards. Whereas Pereira, also with Pereira, I feel like he could, I would feel like he could still at this point go back to kickboxing right now and become a world champion in kickboxing. I feel like he could do that. I know for sure Cejudo can't go back there and win an Olympic gold medal or probably even qualify for the Olympics. And that was probably even you take 10 years off. Like, rewind the clock 10 years, let Cejudo train as hard as he can. I feel like I probably bet money that he wouldn't be able to make the Olympics. I feel like it was that time and place. He was in the right time and place, and I think he realized that as well. And he reached the peak of it and was not likely going to climb that mountain again. Probably could have been decent, but probably wouldn't have been able to really qualify for the team. And that's why he walked away from the sport when he did. But yeah, that's why he walked away from the sport when he did walk away from the sport. And yeah, Pereira still continued to add to his legacy. And I know a lot of people don't like to say, oh, kickboxer could be the best combat sports fighter in the world. Or I guess maybe a kickboxer who uses his kickboxing can, primarily a kickboxer, well, purely using his kickboxing. And then maybe this, I don't know, can't be the combat sports GOAT because he kickboxes in MMA and he kickboxes in kickboxing. Where's the jiu-jitsu? Where's the wrestling? Cejudo fleshed out his striking. He was a more well-rounded fighter. Oh, his division this, his division that. But I bet you money it was a wrestler come over and they just laid on people, humped their legs for 15 minutes and had zero striking like Ben Askren. They were like, oh, Ben Askren, he's the combat sports GOAT. Like, he became a triple division champion just off leg humping, never developed a striking game. They'd be like quick to say, oh, that guy's the combat sports GOAT. But let a kickboxer come over here and sprawl and strike. Oh, he can't be the combat sports GOAT. It's some clear biases there, but what's very clear is the fact that Pereira, also dominated his sport, reached the pinnacle, 2-division champion in kickboxing, glory kickboxing. The pinnacle of kickboxing as it is today, in my opinion. I think that's a good claim. And then reached the pinnacle of MMA and became a 2-division champion in light heavyweight and heavyweight. I mean, light heavyweight and middleweight, not heavyweight, but light heavyweight and middleweight. And again, I feel like he definitely has a much better chance of going back to kickboxing and becoming a world champion again than Cejudo. For sure, I get a guy like 1% chance, if even that, a smidgen of a beneath 1%, like maybe like I don't know, 0.5% chance of becoming, even qualifying for the Olympics if he tries to go to it right now. And you could try to say, oh, it's easier this, easier that, but so I don't think so. I wouldn't give Cejudo much of a chance to go over there and become a kickboxing world champion, glory kickboxing champion. He could cut all the weight he want. He could put all the weight on, like whether he wants to go cut down or go up. I can't see Cejudo being no glory kickboxing champion. And I might give him a better percent chance of this, that, but at the end of the day, who has a better chance of, who dominated that sport longer and held on to the pinnacle longer of their respective sports? Pereira did. And I think, matter of fact, I think Pereira's been on top of MMA now longer than Cejudo. I think Cejudo had a quick little run. Like, he finally beat Mighty Mouse in a rematch. Then he beat Dillashaw after that. Then he had 2 fights, then he retired. And also, it does not help Cejudo the fact that he retired for like 3 years and came back and lost twice. And we know, like, at the end of the day, the biggest thing in MMA is winning. It really is. Anything is winning. Like, in sports is winning. But the losses do factor. Winning means a lot more than losing. Because, like, you win a belt, at the end of the day, you won the belt. You can lose 10 times after that, but you always be the champion, just like Cejudo. He won an Olympic gold medal. You can't ever take that back away from him. Like, he wasn't able to go back to the Olympics, but he won an Olympic gold medal. Like, Olympic gold medal. That's whatever it is. Like, people become champion, and then the other guys might beat them 20 times. But you ain't never become a champion. Speaking directly to you, Dustin Poirier, you ain't never become the champion. You say, oh, I beat this guy, I beat that guy, I did this. I've been good straight for 10 years, but you ain't never been the best. And that's what matters. Like, The point of the sport is to become the best, to become the champion. The point of any sport is to become the champion. It's not to go out there and just play and win these small games. You want to win the big one. And both of them did it. Like Cejudo won the big one, the big ones, Olympic gold medalist, 2 division champion. Pereira, 2 division glory champion, 2 division UFC champion, MMA champion. So yeah. And again, the difference that separates them is the fact that I feel Pereira, like it's not even about that I feel. Pereira did, reign on top, is the best in his weight class for a number of years, and his 2 weight classes for a number of years. It wasn't just like a one time or this. It was like he was perceived as the best. He was the best, and he was perceived as the best for years in those respective weight classes. And in MMA, like his middleweight run was short lived, but his overall MMA career has been short lived. But he has been a top fighter, fighting nothing but championship fights, former world champions, winning belts and stuff for the past 2-3 years now. So yeah, I would have to give it to Pereira. Like I said, he might not be the most world-rounded fighter, at least from what we've seen, but nonetheless, what he does has been effective, and the bias is definitely there. For fighters, like not for fighters, for fans or whatever pundits. The bias is definitely there, where people like, because again, somebody come out here is one dimensional as they want to be in grappling, and no one would be as quick to try to say, oh, there's no way they can be common sport because they're so one dimensional. Like if you come over, it's mixed martial arts. So if what you're doing is working, it's working. That's how it is at the end of the day. It's been plenty of guys that come over from this like grappling and never develop a lick of strike. So whatever the case may be, like there's been wrestlers who dominated the divisions. There's been strikers that dominate divisions. If you are able to dominate division with what you have, then the divisions with what you have, then you dominate it. And I will say again, repeating myself, but wrap it up. The GOAT, not the GOAT, she is the GOAT. The GOAT of combat sports today is Kayla Harrison. I would say she's going to be the quadruple C. Again, 2 Olympic gold medals in judo, world titles in PFL, and soon to be, in my opinion, world champion of the UFC as well. So I'm gonna say quadruple C, soon to be quadruple C, but currently triple C. That is Kayla Harris. She's the GOAT of combat sports. All genders, she is the GOAT of combat sports. But as far as men in particular, I would say Alex Pereira. He dominated kickboxing, 2 division champion, 2 division MMA champion, 2 division UFC champion, and still adding to that legacy wins after wins. Don't like the fact that he's seemingly ducking Ankalaev, but other than that, like he's been doing what he's supposed to do, going out there winning. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it seems like he's working on other facets of his game. We've seen him working with Kayla Harris and other people, Glover Teixeira and stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's much more developed than a lot of people give him credit for it. But yeah, similar to Adesanya. Adesanya, we saw him mixing BJJ in some of his fights here and there, mixing some takedowns. But at the end of the day, don't get too far from what got you to dance. And Kayla Harrison said the same thing. Like, she knows she could develop her striking more, but she's not going to be one of those people that going to start getting some successful striking and then get away from, what she does. So, yeah, Kayla Harrison and Pereira really ain't too far apart. Like, they're 2 fighters who definitely use what got them to the dance and not going to shy away from it. Like, Kayla Harrison, she definitely throwing more punches than Pereira has went for takedowns. But nonetheless, she definitely stays within her bag and within her lane. And Pereira does the same thing. And I would say Pereira is the GOAT of combat sports as far as men go. And Kayla Harrison is the GOAT of combat sports as far as women go. And if you say all genders, I would have to say Kayla Harrison is the all-around, all-gender GOAT of combat sports. But what do you guys think? You think it's someone else? You think Cejudo's still the combat sports GOAT? Or, again, do you think someone else? Like someone I'm not mentioning, someone we don't know about, someone from 50 years ago before modern MMA became a thing? But, yeah, let me know in the comment section below. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And come back for more videos. Peace out.